guys here with another Trainer Confidential. So another exciting weekend. Well, even counting Friday, we had the Tyson and the Tyson fight, which bodybuilding channel. But I got a few words to say about that myself because I
Go
grew up
ahead.
watching
No,
Tyson.
yes, by all means.
I grew up watching Tyson, Iron Mike, man, and I just thought that he threw the fight. I mean, that's my own opinion. There's a lot of money in that fight, and I say that for a couple of reasons. Once I watched the fight, obviously, and he just, he was regular old Mike Tyson right in the beginning, throwing punches like crazy. And then all of a sudden, I seen at least two times where he pulled some punches that he could have landed and really knocked Jake Paul
The,
out.
the fight went the distance, right?
It did. It went. Yeah, it did. It did. So I think in the end, he only landed like 18 punches, which is not like Mike. So whatever it was, it was obviously a money thing. But what kind of bothered me was I seen a interview, and it was with a little girl actually. She was a kid, and I think he didn't realize he was talking to a kid, but she asked him what something about his legacy, and so he started saying the F word a lot. It's Mike Tyson. So, but anyway, but his take on legacy was that that's just another word for ego, and I don't believe in legacy because once we die, we're dead, and that's it. There ain't nothing. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna remember you, and blah blah blah. This and that, and I'm like. And then I'm thinking, and I heard this after the fight, and then I'm going back to the fight in my mind. I'm like, that is not something Mike Tyson would say back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
and you, I think you just hit the nail. You just hit the nail on the head and stuff. I mean, he's at a different place now. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
This is his mindset now.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't his mindset. When he was, in the 80s.
yeah,
And the whole 9 yards. But where he's at now, I mean, he's 58 years old. He's pushing 60.
yeah. I
And
mean, there was a lot of what do you say it was like $20 million or something in that fight, something like
well,
that. I
he
mean,
got 20 million.
yeah, I mean, Netflix streamed it, and there was so many people on Netflix that the streaming sucked. Like, it wasn't good. I seen another video of a guy, I think it was in the UK or something, and he's in a high-rise building, and he could see the skyscraper across from him, and he's looking at all the windows, and every person that had a TV on had the
Was
Tyson fight
streaming.
on.
They were streaming it.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, so he was probably doing it for his kids, but which is cool, whatever. But I think Mike, there was no doubt in my mind that I don't care. Age is just a number, you know that. And Mike Tyson, he could have laid him out, and he didn't. But that's cool, whatever. Logan
Okay.
Paul, I think he's only had like two professional fights anyway. He's not really a professional boxer to begin with. So, but anyway, I just want to throw that little piece in. But the real reason I want to talk, we got to talk about the Prague this weekend. Chris Bumstead's last show.
Yes.
So that was a good look for Bumstead, man. I mean, he only had 4 weeks to prepare for this, and basically all he did was just fill out. He didn't have to make weight or nothing like that. And man, he just proved that he could do open, and Shaun Clarida was in the show too. So he
Yeah,
also
Shaun was really
proved that it's like,
impressive.
what do we really need 212 for? You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
Martin Fitzwater won. Okay. Chris Bumstead second, Shaun Clarida in third. Shaun Clarida beat Matthias Holweck. He beat Horse MD. He beat Andre Presti. He beat a whole bunch of people. And, he was the smallest guy at 184 pounds or something like that up on stage. And the most
Hmm.
shredded guy. He was classic Shaun Clarida. And way better than he was in the Olympia, which
Yeah, muscles popping.
yeah,
You know,
which I want to get at that too about his new coach. There's something going on there because he came back with a way better look. And Martin Fitzwater did too, and he has the same
Yeah,
coach.
he just didn't look as depleted as he looked like he was still depleted a little bit. He hadn't
Yeah,
really filled out the way he should have.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that's pretty impressive, man. I mean, they call him the giant killer for a reason. And he pulling top
No,
three,
that's true. Yeah,
pulling top three is pretty impressive. Now back to Bumstead. His conditioning was on point. I mean, he was the second most conditioned guy on that stage, I would say. And aesthetics, he has all of that. I think what he was beat from. I mean, when I watched it, I could have seen it go either way, but I was leaning more towards Martin because I'm watching this show as a bodybuilding open show, not a
hmm
classic show, and that's where my mindset was. And Martin was just a little bit bigger in areas than Bumstead was. So I want to go with some pictures and just kind of show that. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Okay, so well, here's the three of them right here. So there's some shots that obviously Bumstead won. That front double biceps, one of them.
a front lat spread.
That's another one right there. But see, yeah, Martin's got him in the side chest. I mean, conditioning wise, yeah, I'd give it to Bumstead. Size wise, aesthetics, I would give it to Martin. And arguably,
That's really close right there.
it's
I
really
mean,
close.
it's
Yeah,
there's not really a lot of separation there.
it is really close. But look a little Shaun Clarida up there, though, man. I mean, that guy is very, very impressive. So we got a classic physique competitor, we got a 212 competitor, all in open. Now, this show also had classic and 212 too. So
Yeah, yeah,
Clarita obviously would have taken 212 if he decided to go on that, but he didn't. He
right,
went right to open.
right.
So there he's in the middle.
Yeah, they moved him around pretty good and stuff.
They really did, yeah.
So they gave each one a shot and at the center. But boy, you're burning a lot of glycogen when you do that. So
Mm-hmm. Bumstead had fun though, man. This is his last show. The cool
no,
thing
he
about
didn't
this,
he didn't he didn't he didn't show any angst about his placing.
no, not at all. Now, see the back shots. I'm giving that to Martin just because of size and all that and aesthetics. That side tricep I got to give to Martin. He won. Bumstead won some poses. Martin won some poses. And I'll go to the score sheets. Actually, the judges were unanimous from prejudging to finals for Martin over
Okay.
Bumstead. So I believe so Martin got 6 and Bumstead got 12, I think it was. But both came back better in finals. Now this is a 2-day show, which I
Right.
like that. I like that. It sucks, being dry for 2 days and all that stuff, but it wasn't like the Olympia. Uh, I don't know what time it was over there and what was it, Italy, I think it is in Prague or whatever,
hmm
uh but the show was an early afternoon, so here anyway in Pacific time. So it wasn't as taxing as the Olympia, doing it 12 o'clock at night or
Yeah.
whatever it was. But all in all, it was an impressive show. And this is there was it was a $30,000 purse for open anyway for this.
Right.
So they pay a little bit more for this show than they do the others. They did last year too. I think it was 30,000 last year also.
Uh-huh.
But I got to say, Martin Fitzwater. I mean, what he got fourth in Olympia. I got to go out on a limb and say that this guy could be an Olympian in the future. He's young. The year before last, for this coming year, he's put a lot of work in, a lot of size, a lot of hard work, and it shows. It shows. I mean, that was his first Olympia. and he scored top five. So that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty impressive in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Bumstead had a lot of fun in this though. At the end of it, and by the way, this live stream was only like $15 too, so it was really cheap, which is cool. And a good quality. Obviously, it's very good quality. The only thing about it is Bumstead's he had something to say when the show was done, and it was all muted, so you couldn't hear anything he said, which kind of sucked. But he was announcing his retirement. He's doing this for fun. This is his last show. Yada yada. Also, another person we're going to be seeing leaving is his coach, Hany Rambod. So Hany is finally retiring. I hope he enjoys his retirement. I mean, I don't know.
So
I mean,
he's
in
not
my
gonna be
mind, I think he's probably the best coach that
he's
we
not
have
gonna
in
be coaching
bodybuilding.
anymore?
What's that?
He's not gonna be coaching anymore?
No, no, he's retiring.
Mm.
Yep, he's retiring. So I'm not sure what I mean. Obviously, Bumstead's retiring, but what is Derek and Haughty? What are they going to do? Who are they going to pick up for a coach? That part I don't know yet.
Hmm.
Uh, that's going to be in the making. They definitely got time, but Haughty, I mean, I think he's definitely got more Olympians than any of the other coaches, doesn't he?
I don't know. He's up there though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, great show. This is a good look for Chris. He didn't have to make weight, so he was a few pounds heavier. As a matter of fact, I think I said it last show that he was he basically just carved up the whole 4 weeks is really what he did, and his weight
Yeah, yeah.
didn't really gain, and he didn't really gain much weight after
You
that. He
can't you
just
can't you can't put fat on that fast.
no,
Especially if you're just really shredded,
yeah,
you know. You just can't eat a couple of burgers and say, "Oh my God, I just ruined everything." It doesn't work like that.
it don't work that way. Yeah, yeah. So this is awesome. I'm glad he did that. There was rumors, that was going to jump into the show, and Dino, and all these
Mm-hmm.
people wanted to slice it at
Mm-hmm.
Bumstead on the
Mm-hmm.
open, and I don't think it would have worked out too hot for him. Although on the other hand, gets pretty big on the off season. But again, he had 4 weeks, so how big could he have been? I don't know. Uh, I don't think he would have beaten Bumstead still, but I mean, great show though. Great show. Uh, yeah, I was impressed with all three, the whole top three. So Andre Presti was in the show too. I believe he got what, seventh? No, he got eighth in the show. Which I think he needs to take a break. He's been doing a lot of shows, and I
Uh-huh.
I really wanted to see him in the Olympia this year, and I think he kind of got burnt in getting the Olympia this year. I think he needs to take a break, like Fitzwater did, and just grow, because he's got a physique too that he's got the structure for it. I don't want to see him doing shows all year round.
Yeah.
So he needs to get in the Olympia stage. And Fitzwater, on the other hand, he's got a whole year now. He's got a whole year to lay back. I don't want to see him in another show. I want to see him on the Olympia stage, and that's it. I
Yeah.
think if he does that, I mean, this is I wouldn't say it's his best look, but it's a good look. It's
Yeah.
compared to the Olympia, I'd say he's about the same. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he was better here than he was in Olympia?
I thought he was a little bit better than Olympia, but that's
Yeah, you
that's
think
that's
so?
fine. I thought
Yeah.
it was a little tighter, but he looks good here though.
So in finals, he apparently he popped something, had a cramp or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice there's some pictures of him. He started sweating and everything, and so, but he pulled it off. Still got first place,
Yep.
which was, injuries happen, man. You just got to work around it, and that's what he did. So he just posed around it, and he got it.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he definitely had him in the legs. He had him in his arms. He's got bigger arms than Bumstead's got. You know, stuff like that. Here's the scorecards here. So yeah, Fitzwater had six, Bumstead 12, Clarida was
18.
18. So it was all unanimous. I mean, the judges
Okay.
were all the way around for those guys. So uh here's him doing the quad stomp for Jay Cutler.
Hmm.
But man, he looked good. This isn't the last time we're going to see Bumstead, obviously. He's part of the sport. He's always going to be part of the sport. And I think he's just going to add to the sport from here on out. But as far as competing, he's done. He's done competing. Fitzwater, he's just getting started.
Yep.
He's just getting started.
His Olympia debut, he pulls a fourth.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming.
Jay Cutler didn't pull a fourth in his first Olympia.
No,
Neither did Ronnie Coleman.
no. Oh, Ronnie Coleman was like, what, 16th or something like that?
Yeah, 17th, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, it's so I here's his coach right here. Boston Outlaw, something like that. That's him here. So that's his coach. That's also Clarida's coach. And Nick Walker. No, Nick Walker didn't pick him up as a coach. Walker's got a different coach. Uh, but I believe this is also oh, who else coaches that? Brett Wilkin, I believe. Yeah, there he is there. That's his coach too. So I mean, hey, I like how Clarida looked, and Fitzwater, Fitzwater said this is his best ever look. That's what he thinks, and I'm gonna go with that because he won the show. So this coach in 4 weeks did a lot of good for these guys, and
Yeah,
so that's pretty exciting.
yeah.
What'd you think of it? What I know you who'd you have winning?
I was leaning a little bit more towards Bumstead, only because he just looked tighter, you
Yeah,
know, so and but yeah, I'm not disappointed with the placing and stuff. I wouldn't contest it. And the thing about it is Bumstead didn't contest it neither. So,
yeah.
but yeah.
Well, okay, so let's go pose to pose here. Bumstead, I mean, I'm gonna say Bumstead won this pose. Front double by for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Bumstead's got those flaring lats. And you
Yeah.
can go straight to the front lat spread and you're gonna do the same thing there. He's got those flaring lats.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep. And he's got a good vacuum too.
But the thing about, but yeah, yeah. I see that the other guy he had a vacuum too. So
Not as
but
good
yeah,
as
that
Chris
that's
though.
definitely Bumstead right there.
Yeah, I would say front Latstead goes to Bumstead. But it's comparable. It's definitely comparable. So maybe it just to meets the eye on that one. Let's go to side chest here. I know that little play sign's in the way though. Uh I'm giving this one to Fitzwater myself. What do you think?
I mean, I can see it. I mean,
Do you think
definitely with the thickness, and it's
yeah.
not like he's out of shape or anything like that. His
Yeah.
conditioning is good too. I mean, sure, you can give it to him.
One thing I'm looking at Fitzwater though, two things actually is well, look at Bumstead. He's got his chest up. Martin doesn't have his chest up. Martin
I
is
I
thick.
tend I tend to lift my chest up.
Yeah, yeah. So if he lifted his chest up, he's going to look even thicker. And if he rolls back that shoulder a little bit more, he's going to look even thicker yet because Martin is thicker than Bumstead.
Oh
Period.
yeah, I mean you can clearly see that.
Yeah. So those two things would, do him wonders, I think, with that pose. Even though still think he won that pose, I think he could have made that pose even better. And it could be just the angle too, we're looking at it well, we're looking straight on pretty much on the stage here, but uh those two things I see He's sitting on it just right. He's got the legs look good. Everything else looks good. I just think he needs to raise his chest up and he needs to roll back that shoulder, just like
Hmm.
like Bumstead's doing. Bumstead's
Hmm.
got that pose down
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, back double by. This is a tough one here.
So first things, so when I'm measuring three things you're looking at. First of all, you're looking at back detail above the waist. You're looking at back detail below the waist, and you're looking at the taper.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. So what are you
so
thinking? And glutes too.
well, yeah, that's detail below the waist.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What do you
So
think wins this one?
I'm still leaning a little bit towards Bumstead there.
Really?
Only
Yeah.
because yeah, only because of the just a little bit more detail, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Not by much, but
Not
you
by
can see
much,
this
no.
they're that both of their tapers are comparable, you know. Both of their tapers are comparable. They both seem to have an equal degree of detail above the waist as they do below the waist,
Mhm.
you know.
I gotta give this one to Martin, and I totally agree with you. This is very, very close. Very close. I gotta give it to Martin for a couple different things. The
Yeah,
delts,
tell me. Let me
the
know.
arms, the glutes are bigger, the legs are bigger. And one thing about this particular picture here too is you got a lot of shadow in Bumstead's kind of right on the light there too, so it's showing a little bit more. But I just see more thickness in Martin, just a little bit more than Chris. So I would give it to Martin
Okay.
on this one, but it could all of these poses could go either way with either of them. So I'm gonna throw that out there too.
Okay.
But as far as conditioning, Chris has got him on conditioning all the way around. He really does. Now, if Martin had that kind of conditioning at that size,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what he brought to this is not the package he had at the Olympia.
yeah.
If he had the Olympia package, then yeah, I don't think I don't think there would be any dispute to it.
Do you think I wonder how he went into the show. Do you think he thought that Bumstead was going to be a threat, or did you think he was going to be an easy win for him?
I mean, anything with Bumsteads, anybody with Bumsteads bona fide is going to be a threat.
Right? Right?
Competitors going to see him as a threat. I mean, he's a seven-time Olympian at classic physique,
Right?
and with his conditioning, I just figured with his conditioning, and you and I, we both kind of determined the same thing. Just fill him out,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
So on this one, I got to give this one to Martin still, just because of thickness, shape, taper, all that kind of stuff. But I mean,
I'll say I'm going to give it a coin toss.
yeah, it's like that. It's a coin toss. You're right. Yeah, it is. Bumstead he's got a physique that most people would want. A lot of your normal, gen pop
Mm-hmm.
would want a Chris Bumstead physique and not want a Samson physique, they don't want to be mass monsters. They want to look like Chris Bumstead.
Right.
That being said, aesthetic wise, that's why he's the face of classic for that reason. Martin is still in that phase right now. He's
Mm-hmm.
got the size and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, once you start going into and he's a taller guy too. He's not as tall as Bumstead, but I don't know. This is a really really close show. Really close show.
Yeah, it was. Okay, here we go. Keep going. Side tricep.
All right, I got to give that one to Martin. And I like how Martin's turning, how he's turning just enough. He's not showing his belly button, but he's showing that width in his shoulders. I got to give that to Martin. Now,
Okay.
maybe Chris isn't in that pose yet. So he was
Yeah,
transitioned into,
yeah, I think he was in it.
yeah, he was in it. So yeah, I got to give that one to Martin. What do you think?
He's still doing some classic physique type posing,
Yeah,
you know. What I mean? It's and open bodybuilding, you don't really necessarily need to vacuum that much. You don't need to lean that much on it. I mean, it's okay. It may get you a couple of points with certain judges and stuff, but I wouldn't if I wouldn't rely that heavily on that vacuum.
yeah.
Just hit your ab shot. She's got a good ab. Look at that. And then
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's
because when you do the vacuum, you lose that.
you do.
What we're looking for is with Shaun and with what's his name again?
Fitzwater, Martin,
Fitzwater. That's we want those abs. We want them really prominent, you know. And when you do the vacuum, you
you
dissipate
lose
them.
them. Yeah. Do you think if Chris would have stayed in that ab and thigh and didn't do the vacuum, do you think he would have been better? Because he's got abs. I mean, like he's got
Yeah,
really nice abs.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
So full muscular.
In this particular pose right here, that front, you can see the detail coming out in Bumstead and stuff.
Yeah.
I do like Fritz White, his legs. I mean, they are just striped. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, if you get in here, I mean, he's got the cross striations and everything, and this all came out in finals. Prejudging, he didn't really have that as much. But this picture doesn't do him justice. The close-ups of him, he was
uh-huh.
shredded, and his legs look really good.
Okay.
Uh, he's got everything there. I got to give the full muscular to Martin too, myself.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, it could go either way. There's a crab. Okay, now we're not covering it with the play button. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
here's another front shot. I got to give that to Chris for sure. I
Yeah, I
mean, he's
mean, yeah, that's one of his trademark poses right there, that front
yeah,
lat spread.
yeah, for sure, yeah,
Got a really nice flare, and this isn't trait, this is genetics.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's not like Fitzwater and Clarida aren't training their lats. They're hitting their lats just as hard as everybody else is. You know what I mean? But
Florida, he's a
some people they just got that flair, you know?
Florida's a damn near a power lifter. I mean, have you seen that guy? That guy train? He trains very, very, very heavy. So,
That's why
and
he looks so dense.
yeah, yeah, he's a very heavy lifter. So I know he's putting the work in. Okay, there's a sight. So he's got his chest up a little higher there in this one, and he rolled back the shoulder just a little bit more. But still, Bumstead
Oh,
is so consistent.
he's I mean he's definitely he's thick. He's really 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 thick. I think if he had brought the Olympia package, which isn't that much better than this one right here, but yeah, I think it would have been more. I think it would have been more convincing.
Hmm. Yeah, but you can't. I just can't take away his man. I mean, his chest, the muscle maturity he's got going on. Uh,
Yeah, he's
it
very polished.
looks great. So yeah, that was the Prague Pro, Evil's
Yeah,
Prague Pro. So that was a pretty exciting show. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. You got anything else you want to add to it?
I'm good, man.
Yeah. All right, you guys. What did you guys think of the show? What did you guys think of the Tyson fight? Do you think it was a fixed fight? Kind of curious. What do you?
He got 20 million out of it.
Yeah, he got 20 minutes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I was in his shoes for my family, I probably would have done the same thing just for my family. But I do got an ego, I do that. Legacy is important to me. My name is what people, what I, it's I want people to remember my name for good things, right? And not for bad things. So I don't agree with him and what he said about legacy for one thing. And so that being said, I don't know. I don't know if I would have done that. But $20
Hmm.
million is a lot of money, so I don't know. He's still Iron Mike. He always will be Iron Mike, best boxer in the world. Uh, it is what it is. And it was fun to see. I mean, I remember some of his early fights. I mean, people would get pissed because they'd spend all this money to go watch him and he'd knock the guy out in the first round.
Yeah,
And there
yeah,
was there was no show. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They get kind of mad at him because of it. It's like, that was Mike Tyson.
Yep.
The funny thing is, oh, I got to add this on there too. Evander Holyfield was there too as a
Oh,
commentator.
really?
Yeah, well, not a commentator, but he was. They were talking about it, and he bit off his ear, right? Bit off his
Right,
right.
right. Oh, they're good friends now.
Yeah, they're friends now. So, but the funny thing is they had Evander Holyfield at the far right of the table on the screen, anyway. So I guess it would be the far left. But at any rate, the lady's talking to him, and he can't hear because of his ear, right?
Right.
And so they'd have to go in between. Yeah, Evander, they said this and they said that and whatever. Can you hear that? And then they had to throw in the ear, biting off the ear and stuff like that. It was just kind of funny.
Yeah.
But they are partners. They even, as a matter of fact, they have I think they started a
Well,
weed
they got a
company. They
business venture.
sell, huh?
They have a business venture together.
Yeah, they do. They sell like uh edibles or something like that.
Okay.
Marijuana edibles. So yeah, I mean they made up and all that, but yeah, it was kind of funny that he was there and they were talking about the ear and it was and he couldn't hear it. So that was kind of funny. But anyway, you guys have a good week and we will see you next week. And yeah, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and have a good night.
Absolutely.